Welcome, NGM, to your weekly Solana podcast, The Sol Brothers, with my good friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it's our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in this exciting and also sometimes frustrating ecosystem. I had to do that.
Our mission is to help you stay on top of the latest and greatest in the Solana ecosystem so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, how are you this week? I know you just got off a flight. You must be fucking tired.
I'm all right, actually. I got some sleep, but the news we're going to cover today are definitely more latest and less greatest because shit's going down. So I think people that are in the trenches right now and even outside of the trenches, just investing in crypto, they are getting cold feet. I think people are getting worried on Twitter. People are getting worried on my timeline. Friends start texting, it's that time of the year again. So I think it is going to be a special episode today, and we will cover all that. We will talk a little bit about the recent price action. We will also try to cover what happened on Solana in terms of the builder scene. But I have to admit, it is overshadowed a little bit by all the drama that's going on. How do you manage to stay positive in these times? Because you're a very positive, energetic person. That's what people appreciate about you. And crypto is just wild, and it's not easy. It can be painful. And right now, we've seen better times. We had just before you answer, we had DeepSeek, and which caused a huge drop in the last 4 to 8 weeks because it threatened the US AI conglomerates. We had Trump putting tariff wars out to Canada, to Mexico, to China after launching his own meme coin that pulled a lot of liquidity out of the crypto markets. Wasn't dumped, but still pulled liquidity and then just went dead. And right after that, Melania launched her crypto token, which basically did the same thing. And then on top of everything, other presidents started to just, follow suit. And we saw the Libra scam. We saw some South African coins popping up and dragging people. We got bad CPI data from the Fed, just another kick against the shin. And then we got a Bybit hack, which just, the biggest hack in crypto history. That's the most recent news. So I'm just giving you
of the shit cake.
Yeah. I'm just giving you the cherry on top on the shit cake. So how do you stay sane in this environment?
Yeah, no. So I tweeted recently that last week I had a lot of mom energy, which kind of means, I'm not angry at you, son. I'm just a little disappointed. And this week I'm trying to carry in a little bit of little brother energy, the little brother that always wants to play and hang out and do stuff together. That's, I think, the energy that I'm going to carry going forward because, what I've been telling a lot of folks, even at Sanctum, is that if you're hyper-focused on short-term price action, I need you to pivot to long-term building because we can't control what goes on in the crypto macro, right? Like, is there a trade war? Are there presidents memeing and destroying the vibes? Is there a hack? These are things all out of our control. What we can do as builders and as members of the community is to stay hyper bullish on the products that are focused on the fundamentals, which means great product as well as strong community. And you position yourself correctly for when the market, the vibes are better. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now, and how I stay sane. I don't look at what's going on in the short term. There's plenty of things to respond to, and this is our chance to do that. But really, truly, I look, my time horizons are a lot longer, which means that it's a lot easier for me to swallow all the very spiky and difficult and disgusting pills that we have to swallow every day.
And I think we can give this as a best practice out there to everyone who's listening as well. Try hard to put yourself in that mindset because it's much more healthier. Try to understand what you can control in this market, in this environment. What is the thing you can do to make our world here a bit better at all times. And then secondly, don't be afraid of just zooming out all the time and forget about the short-term noise for the long-term signal, because that's eventually the biggest problem I see right now in this, really one of the biggest problems I see right now when talking about kind of the atmosphere, the vibes, let's call it the vibes. It's that we are so locked into Twitter And we are so captured by the Twitter algorithm, by the crypto Twitter timeline algorithm, that we don't see left and right what's actually reality anymore. Because be honest, when you go through your Twitter timeline and you scroll through it, how many accounts do you really see on a frequent basis? Like what handles pop up 80% of the time? And I think you can probably count these names on maybe maximum 4 hands, right? It's like maybe it's 20 names. It won't be more than that, honestly. And everyone that listens can ask themselves the same question. The content you see on your Twitter timeline is so broken down into this very small niche of reality because you see only voices from those few people, and it's a huge space where we have so much going on. When we're covering Solana at the Sol Brothers, but crypto is also much more than Solana, and we also need the rest of the crypto environment. But I just wanted to give this as well as kind of advice to people to just get a reality check. Sometimes we need a slap in the face that just tells us, look, this is not real. Twitter is just infected with attention-grabbing economy, which is always toxic to an extent. And it's a game. We're playing the game. Don't forget it's a game, right? If you want to play it, don't forget it's a game. And the reality looks a bit different. And builders are not always on Twitter sharing their opinions, right? They're just building. So that's something people sometimes forget.
There's this clip of Meow that I absolutely love, and it's probably like 3 seconds. But he's like, every day I wake up and crypto punches me in the face. which is so true. We're getting punched in the face every day. And I totally agree. Twitter's a echo chamber for sure.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, it is. But I think we should take the chance before we dive into the full agenda today, because we have a lot of stuff to cover. We already mentioned the Bible tech. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened there and dissect the whole dilemma. Just happened a few days ago, actually. We're going to talk more about Solana specific launches and products and announcements inside of the Solana ecosystem from Solana builders today. There's a few keywords here that we're going to double click on: Kaito, Sanctum, Backpack, GoFund There's a few names that we want to touch on today. And there's a lot of drama that we need to talk about. The drama started with the whole Libra debacle that followed with some Jupiter and Meteora debacle. That is all the same soup. So we have to dissect this a little bit, what happened there. We need to talk about Portnoy. We need to talk about Kanye West. I'm really sorry that I even say that. But we have to put a few words out there towards these people as well. So the agenda is packed. But before, may I take a minute to show what's going on at the Solana chart?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Then let's pull over to the daily chart. And we've seen better times. I have to say that just looking at the chart without any further analysis here, last time we saw these prices, today we hit the November 2024 low. So basically, if you, bought Solana in November 2024 and you hold it until today, you're back to normal. You're back to your initial moment, initial investment you made is 0 P&L. So yeah, that is not so good. So definitely since the peak that we reached on the end of January, what was it? Was it the 19th, 18th of Jan? Yeah, 19th of Jan, we reached the peak at the Solana chart. We scratched on the $300 here, at least on my Coinbase price chart. And then from there on, we saw quite a journey downwards. A lot of selling pressure, a lot of volume to the downside. And those were all the punches in our faces that we just mentioned at the intro as well. Their tariffs, one punch, then bad CPI data, another punch in your face. Then Libra debacle, another punch in our face. Then Bybit got hacked, another punch. So we basically just get beaten down here, and it doesn't stop. That's literally how it feels right now. If you look at the Solana chart, we're getting beaten down, and it doesn't stop. I think to be real, right? We don't need to make this prettier than it is. Most of my bullish scenarios are broken by now, so they are not really they don't really exist anymore. I am tracking down, like I removed all the bullish scenarios to the upside, because once we broke the first key resistance at 187, that was up here. Yeah, we were there before. We broke this resistance, and you see basically what happened after. That was the level that we defined. You remember, we talked about this like 2-3 weeks back. We said, okay, if we break the 187, I don't know if we're going to recover quickly from this. And since then, it's just down, right? And that was one of the key levels that I was watching. Then the bullish scenario was already kind of not valid anymore. And now we're in this last leg up, fifth 5-wave down to the downside. But I think it could be a larger pullback now that we broke also the $160 level today. Right now, Solana is trading at $156 on the Coinbase chart. It is the 24th of February today. Now that we broke the 160 level, I think we are possibly on the way to $120 again. So that is just the bearish outlook here. Obviously, there can be some recovery in between. We might see some pullbacks to the upside, but the path right now, the trend is downwards. So we are really in a bear inside of the bull, as we said last week already. It is what it is. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about this. Well, actually, a bit sad, but it's weird being a co-host with you and like listening to your TA. Like it kind of braces me for what might come. Like because I like, and this is not a plug for the show, but it's like because I listen to you week on week tell me all the different scenarios, I feel weirdly at peace. It's like if you know you're gonna get punched in the face, or there's a 20% probability you're gonna get punched in the face. When it happens, it sucks, but you kind of like, okay, like I kind of expect that might have happened, right?
I saw it coming.
And yeah, a little bit. Which some people might prefer not to know, but I'm one of those people that very much prefers to know that is a possibility. And so strangely, I feel at peace with where we're at. And as we've said multiple times in the pod, we are long-term believers in Solana. Like this is not a short-term play. All the projects on Solana as well are not short-term plays, especially the legitimate ones when we're here for the long haul. So I'm feeling pretty good, Simon. I don't worry too much.
That's good to know. We need that energy, and for the traders out there, it's just good to know where we're heading. Don't open huge leverage positions right now for the upside gamble, because right now there's really no signal that we reached a low right now, a local low, or even a final low. So I think we should sit it out a bit longer and watch the chart. Tune in every week here on the Mondays, see where we're going, and then we're going to let Solana do Solana, and let's focus now on what's happening in the trenches and what's happening also in the news section of crypto right now. Where do you want to double click first on, Eno?
I think we just start with the biggest, juiciest stake. I think we go straight into Bybit.
Okay, let me pull it up. What are we looking at? Show us your Twitter.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, the largest hack in crypto history transpired over the last couple of days. I believe it was over 1.5 billion worth of Ethereum distributed across like 10 plus wallets got drained. Did I get those details just about right, Simon?
Yeah, that's correct. 1.5 million dollars worth of Ethereum, which is a good chunk, 0.2 something, I think, if I'm not mistaken, percent of the total supply of Ethereum got hacked out of the Bybit exchange. That was the big news.
And what's even crazier is that it was done through a cold wallet, which I mean, and not just look. This is obviously Bybit's OPSEC. Say what you will, is some of the best in the world. And if the North Koreans want to hack you, I heard this really good tip from one of my OPSEC friends, and he just told me, look, if a scammer really wants to target you, as in you, Simon, or Bybit, or Eno specifically, they're going to get your ass, right? Like if someone really wants to target you, you're kind of fucked either way. So I don't think negatively. I know this would be a great time to, dance on Bybit's grave and say, your OPSEC sucks, don't use Bybit. But truly, I mean, my personal opinion here is that they got fucking targeted. And, what are you going to do in that scenario where the North Koreans are putting the full weight of government resources on your platform? They'll get you one way or another. Now, that's not to say that improvements can't be made. It's always cat and mouse. But like, I'm much more forgiving in this instance than I would be in other instances.
And I think the reaction from the crypto community on Twitter is quite positive. So for people that are not so deeply involved on the crypto Twitter timeline, we see pretty good reactions from the overall crypto community towards the way Bybit is communicating with the community. The way they handle this case and the way Ben, the CEO of Bybit, is talking to the people is taken very positively. And I think that is also a big learning for us as builders and brands in crypto. It really makes a difference how you handle these things. If you are silent, if you don't talk about it, if you just close the door and don't admit you made a mistake here, or you fucked up, then that doesn't work. But if you show your human side, if you show that you make mistakes as well, and if you show that this also stresses you, this is taken much more seriously. And Ben did exactly that. So we can maybe take a look at his latest post where he put out an announcement about the whole scenario. What did Ben put out in the? How did he communicate with the people here, and what did he basically say in some of these tweets?
Yeah, so like let's just start off with the Bybit tweet, right? So Bybit,
the official one, yeah.
The official one. First of all, very quickly gave people a summary of the situation, right? So Bybit detected unauthorized activity, including one of our ETH cold wallets. This incident occurred while our ETH multisig cold wallet executed a transfer to our Worm wallet. Unfortunately, this transaction was manipulated through a sophisticated attack that masked the signing interface, displaying the correct contract address while altering the underlying smart contract logic. As a result, the attacker was able to gain control of the affected ETH cold wallet and transfer its holdings to an unidentified address. And of course, they have the security team as well as forensic experts going through exactly what happened, and ostensibly, and they are currently providing updates, live instead of waiting like a week or 2 weeks. Which, they say the same thing about. This is a weird subject to kind of connect it to, but this reminds me a lot of like hostage and or kidnapping scenarios. Like what the police often say is like the first 24 hours are the most important, right? Like if you can't get a lead on this missing person within the next 24 hours, the likelihood that you'll get recovery of the victim is very low, right? And I think the same can be said about public relations, right? And I wouldn't even say 24 hours. I'd almost say like the first 3 or 6 hours. So like the first 3 or 6 hours to an incident, I know things are on fire internally, but you have to get tweets, comms, video, whatever, reach out to your contacts, whatever you can do to assure your community within hours of an incident, you need to do that immediately. That's a non-negotiable.
Yeah. And I think Bybit reacted pretty swiftly on this. As soon as people started to talk about the potential hack, they put out an official statement. And I think Ben followed swiftly after this with his personal thoughts on the whole story.
Yeah. He repeats much of the same information. It was a quote unquote Musk UI. However, the signing message was to change the smart contract of our ETH cold wallet. This resulted in the hacker taking control of the specific ETH cold wallet we signed and transferred all ETH in the cold wallet to this unidentified address. Please rest assured that all other cold wallets are secure. All withdrawals are normal. Not only that, but I don't know if we have a tweet specifically prepared for this, but I heard that he got 80% of the hacked funds. He got 80% of that in a bridge loan, right? So that he could make a purchase of, if I'm not mistaken, let's see.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, they bought around $742 million worth of ETH. I think they have even more cash in reserve just to handle. So like. I think that's another reason why. I mean, I have a lot of theories for why this was commed so well and why the reaction has been so good. But number one, like Ben provided a very clear overview of what happened. Number two, he actually did something about it. Now, is that enough to make up for the fuck up? No, it's not enough to make up for the fuck up. But the fact that he's moving on it is a sign of competence as well as progress for people. And this is all happening within hours of the attack, right? And the third thing I would mention, and even though I don't know Ben directly, the amount of people or founders in his tweets, like, what the hell? It's like CZ is like not an easy situation to deal with. Justin Sun is like, we've been monitoring this very closely, providing all support within our capability. You have top founders from other protocols and or projects who are willing to stick their neck out and say, hey, Ben, like, we trust you. We've worked with you before. Even though they're not saying this, it's very clear from the tone of the conversation that founders are in very firm support of Ben Zhao, which just goes to show how important your reputation is, because when the pitchforks come out, you need people in a position of power who will change the mind of their followers before they get a little crazy. So I think it's 3 things: quick response, he did something about it, and he has founders who are backing him. Like, that's great comms. A+.
Yeah, I think it went. I mean, for the extent and the importance of this event, it went down pretty well because it was the biggest hack we've seen so far. The numbers I've heard were that 30% of all crypto hacks combined, that's the size of this crypto hack. So the past decade, 30% of the past decade's crypto hacks combined were now hacked in a single day, in a single moment from Bybit. Yeah. The fun fact that's actually not so funny, that you already mentioned briefly earlier, is that the Lazarus group was identified as the entity behind this. Obviously, we as the Sol brothers don't have further investigative efforts that we could have made to confirm this news, but I think it was pretty official. So we're just gonna share the news here as well, that the Lazarus Group, which is a government-subsidized hacking organization, cybercrime organization from North Korea, that these people were behind this, and they've done it before. They've done it many times before. It's not the first hack that they've been involved with. And one pattern that we can see from all the hacks, that they never return their funds. That's one thing. So once it's gone, the money's gone. There's no negotiation. They just go with the money. And then the second thing that always happens as well is they are very careful and slow with converting these funds into other currencies. So they don't have any rush on converting the stolen ETH in US dollars or in Chinese yen or whatever they're going to do with it. They will take their time. In the latest hack that they did, I think it was 2021 or 2022, was the first time they started to convert money from a hack that happened 6 years before that. So they really have time with these things. They don't need to touch it, because you have to understand everything is public. So people are tracing the wallets, they're tracing the stolen funds, and it's not an easy endeavor for hackers to mask and mingle the funds in a way that it can't be traceable anymore. We are very sophisticated nowadays with on-chain analysis. So yes, the hackers are sophisticated, but also the intelligence apparatus from governments and also from private companies are very sophisticated when it comes down to on-chain analysis. So people are tracking these wallets, and if you are the Lazarus group and you want to cash out your ETH in US dollar on an exchange, you won't be able to do that, because all the wallets are immediately flagged as soon as the stolen funds touch a new wallet. You're on the sanctioned list, right? So they have to go through some detours here. Interesting story, not going to lie.
Yeah. The North Koreans are not people to fuck with. I will be careful about what I say, because I'm a South Korean, and I would very much not like to, get some uranium in the ass through an umbrella tip. Have you heard of? Yeah, like they do that. They like get umbrellas loaded with uranium. Yeah, and then they like poke you with the tip of the umbrella, and then you die of cancer in like 5 days. I'm exaggerating here, but I'm being for real.
Who does that?
I'm being for real. You do not screw with the North Koreans. So I'll be look, for my own safety, I'll be careful here. But yeah, I mean, they've been stealing money for a very long time. Yeah, Simon still can't get over the uranium umbrella.
No.
It's like true. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
How's the political situation between North Korea and South Korea? Like, do you feel it when you're in the country? Like, does the government put out something like that? Do people talk about this relationship, or it's just like something you don't talk about?
So, like, the perception that people get in Western media versus like what South Korean people feel on the ground, the disconnect is hilarious. So we'll be living our daily lives, and North Korea has done something like fired another rocket, and America is freaking out, and like we're just here going like, this is Tuesday, okay? They do this all the time. You know why they do it, Simon? They want more free rice. I know that's really insulting, but it's true. It's what they want. They want more aid. They want more South Korean money. They want us to play nicely. And the way they do this is just like a fucking baby. Like what a baby would do. What would a baby do if they wanted something but can't ask for it directly? They cry. They throw a tantrum.
An umbrella.
A uranium umbrella. They murder you when you sleep. That's what babies do. All right, and that's what
North Korean babies.
That's what North Korean babies do. And that's what I mean. I look. I have love for my brothers in the North. I really do. You can put me on quote there. It's the government that's the problem. It's not the people. The
Of
people are
course.
just trying to live a peaceful life. But yeah, the
Yeah,
North
it's
Korean
never.
government, like those guys have no problem cheating, lying, stealing, murdering. I mean, just a bunch of
Yeah.
jackasses, anyways, in my opinion. But yeah, the
Well,
Lazarus
I mean,
Group.
they did it again. Yeah.
You know what? You would be really good at hacking somebody if Kim Jong Un had a a pistol to your head. Like if it was like, hey, hack
Yeah.
Bybit or
What
die. It's like, yeah, I would
what
do a
choice
pretty
they
good
have?
job there. um,
Yeah.
but what's really funny is that like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, there was another hack, but then they transferred the XRP to like a centralized exchange, but they forgot to put the target. You know how XRP works, right? Where you have to have like the specific like target address in addition to like the
Yeah.
wallet you're sending it to.
Yeah.
The Lazarus Group, the intern there, they forgot to add the target address, so they lost like $500,000 in funds. You know that dude is dead already. You know that guy is dead. It's not funny.
I
I
would love, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see them on Twitter. I'd love to see them with an account, just Lazarus Group, and then just like verified, like just government verified account. And I just would love to see them tweet about these things, like just cover Twitter would allow this for sure. Elon would be like, okay, whatever, like it's a free speech platform. I'd like to see what they're up to and how I want to see the Twitter intern of Lazarus Group tweeting. There's
pretty
one
hilarious.
fun fact. One fun fact about the whole story that is obviously not confirmed, but pretty confirmed because you can trace it on chain. But the hackers actually, I don't know if you heard about it, but they sent a few like, I mean, $10,000 I think worth of Solana to they were from the hack funds, and they sent it into a pump.fun address to create a meme coin, and the meme coin actually got launched. And when I looked at it, it had like a few $1 million of trading volume, and so. I was like, okay, did the Lazarus Group just steal $1.5 billion from Bybit and then launch a meme coin on Solana with like part of the funds? I'm like, okay, what's happening? That's actually ridiculous.
So, by the way, the unsung hero of this entire saga is Zach XBT. Everyone should know who Zach XBT is. He does a lot of thankless work in this ecosystem. He has helped recover millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of funds, and he doesn't get enough respect or our thanks. So, you don't know who the fuck we are, Zach, but we know who you are. You do excellent work. He has this Telegram channel. You can't chat in it, but he does give up updates. So he's been giving live updates of the situation in his Telegram group. I don't know where you can find it. I think I found it through his Twitter profile. But if you go into his Twitter profile, I think, and you go into his Telegram group, he will like give you direct information about investigations that he's covering live. And what he said about this pump.fun coin is that it wasn't the Lazarus Group directly. They actually have a network of money launderers that they work with. And so one of these money launderers, I believe, is the one that created this pump.fun coin, which is just hilarious.
Yeah.
That's actually realistic. That was the missing link that I'm pretty sure that specific wallet or that specific money launderer is the reason why we know it's the Lazarus Group. That was the thing that, like, this is a known money launderer. This is also someone who has a wallet that's linked to a pump.fun. And so we were able to piece things together. That guy was the weak link that broke the story, from what I understand.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think we dissected the whole Bybit situation a lot. Is there anything else we want to touch on when it comes to the Bybit hack that we might haven't talked about yet?
Benzo, I'm feeling for you. This is a make or break for your career, how you handled the situation. So far, you passed with flying colors. So congratulations on passing the toughest test. And I wish you brighter and sunnier days at Bybit. But still, fuck sucks, get all your money on chain.
You had to say that.
I had to. I mean, hey, congratulations on a job well done handling a crisis, but also fuck your product.
just like a small footnote on the side. Yeah. No, he's right, Ben. Listen to go on chain, build your fucking whatever you wanted to do there. He actually talked about this as the Bybit DEX strategy. So maybe this will be a thing now again. Let's see about that.
New tokens. Cool. We love talking about new tokens. Kato is out. You want to talk about Kato? Have you been using Kato? Have you been tracking your yaps?
I've set up my profile, and then I haven't really. I need to recheck again if it saw me yapping. So you can create your Kaito profile for their Kaito Yaps feature, and then you link your Twitter account, and Kaito will check how useful the content is that you produce on Twitter, how many smart followers you have that interact with your content, and it will give you yaps to your account. So the more significant your content is that you produce, the better you will rank in the Yapper leaderboard on Kaito. Kaito itself is a company that made a lot of waves in the last weeks. Ben from Bible obviously is right now on the top leaderboard because he's saying a lot of relevant things and people talk about it, right? I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that's funny.
No, absolutely. No, sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I was just trying to show kind of like how the Kaito. So how Kaito works. They have a leaderboard. You get points through Yaps, and Yaps are determined by their own proprietary algorithm. And as you correctly mentioned, it's some mix of the amount of verified followers that you have and if they're responding to you and what are people saying about what you're saying. And then they've all tokenized that into a pretty successful airdrop. That was not in my bingo card. I did not think that this airdrop would do well. It did very well.
Yeah, I think people were quite bullish before already. Like the voices I've heard, because obviously Kaito is a pretty significant product right now. When I say significant, I mean people are using it, people talk about it. Kaito itself has mindshare. And then secondly, they raised 15 mil, 20 mil. So they raised like a significant amount of money, while also already making a significant amount of money with their data plans. If you want to use the advanced Twitter analysis features from Kaito, you can subscribe to that for only $1,000 per month per user. So it's quite a pricey software as a service that they offer, and they already made a bit money over there as well. So I think all this money pot that people looked at, that was a signal for a big airdrop. So that's why people were anticipating it. Why do you think it was, or why was it successful? People got a good chunk of Kaito. People were happy with their allocations.
So let me answer that question with a completely unrelated anecdote that will prove my point. I know you hate when I do this. I'm so sorry. So Meow, before he went public in November of 2023, had 0 tweets and 300,000 followers. Did you know this?
How many followers?
300,000 followers with 0 tweets. I think he had tweets in the past, but he completely deleted them. He had over 300,000 followers and 0 tweets. Like before he went public for Jupiter in November of 2023-ish for Breakpoint.
Okay. Okay.
And how he got and most people don't know the story. So like if you're listening to Soul Brothers, you're getting some real alpha here. The reason why Meow had over 300,000 followers with 0 tweets and like very little engagement is because in the early days of Twitter, there was no recommendation system. Like you had to search for profiles one-on-one. So Meow created this website where you could put in a topic or you could put in someone's Twitter ID, and then you could see relevant accounts or relevant people like for a specific topic. Like that never existed before. But he did the MySpace Tom strategy, and like his name was on the top of every recommendation. So that's how he got so many followers. That's why he has Sam Altman following him. That's why he has Mark Andreessen following him. He has like all these top Silicon Valley people who were testing Twitter at the time and needed recommendations. And so he fulfilled a need that didn't exist in the market and was rewarded with over 300,000 followers. This is fucking insane, right? I like that. I feel the same way about Kaito. The reason why Kaito was so popular is because there was a gap in the market on Twitter again. And the gap in the market is that there's no really good way to monetize your content. Like if you want to monetize your content, they have a path to do this, but even people who are taking it seriously are not really making money. The only people who are making money are the people that Twitter, that Elon, kind of drools over, like Tiffany Fong, which, it's if you don't know the Tiffany Fong story with SBF and Elon simping over her on the timeline, she's the only one who earned like $30,000, $40,000 checks every 2 weeks. And it's because Elon was engaging her so much and because he's simping, and it's really weird, but it's its own thing. But that's what I mean. There's another gap in the market. Kaito filled it. There's no great way to monetize your content. This is a way for you to do it very directly. So I think that's kind of the unrelated anecdote that I think is related.
Yeah. And so how was the airdrop distributed? It was distributed by the leaderboard and by the amount of yaps that you collected. So the people with the most yapper activity, they got the biggest airdrops, I guess. That's correct.
Yeah. Actually, Simon, if I could ask for a favor, could you do TA but for Kaido? Like, I'd love to see you use your TA brain for like I know it's like super early in the claims process,
chart,
and so like maybe yeah. So maybe there's not enough real data to kind of go through it. But I just think that if people can see your TA brain in action for a token that's like completely new but is doing kind of well, like you can maybe give some objective like live analysis. You're so skilled at this.
I think it's gonna be tough one because it just launched. Let's take a look at what Bird Eye is showing us. Let's make sure first that we have the right token here that we're looking at. So this is the 4-hour chart of Kaito, which has 10 million volume. Kaito ETH. It's an ETH token, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 88,000 holders right now. 1.7 billion. Okay, sounds about right. Do they have the CA on their Twitter as well? I just want to make sure that we're looking at the same.
They do not,
So
but I'm sure their link tree might.
Introducing Kaito. Because that's how you do it normally. Like you have to put the CA because otherwise people would fall for whatever other tokens stumble upon. Claim Kaito, stake Kaito. Kaito Pro. Maybe on the claim page. Did you check if you have a claim for Kaito, by the way?
I refuse to monetize my tweets because I think it's gross. But also, people are allowed to do what they want. So,
why do you think it's gross?
It sets up all the wrong incentives. You're incentivized to maximize for their algorithm and not necessarily what's best for you. And who knows? Their algorithm is a black box as far as I'm concerned. And also, even if it was open source, I ain't got time for that shit. So I'd rather just tweet in a non-monetized way. I could say what the fuck I want to. I don't want that to become like a major revenue stream for me. And now I worry about, well, what does the Kaido algorithm think about me? It's like, fuck that. But I could see why people would be interested in it for sure.
Maybe as a side hustle, like just might as well, like if you're active anyways, they might as well, might as well monetize on it.
You know this, but I'm like dangerously uninterested in money to the point where you have to be like, yes, but like, what's the model? How is this sustainable? And like Simon is the one with common sense here. I have no common sense. But yeah, I'm dangerously uninterested. I'm allergic.
That's a fair take.
I'm allergic to money, guys.
Then that's good. Then I think then you're in crypto, you can survive. If you don't
worry so much about the short term. Yeah. Because the outsized return for any investment is you believe in a thesis and then you stick with it and then that goes 10, 20, 30x, right? That's how I think most successful traders have made outsized returns. Now, is that financial advice? No. Is it also you should invest like Warren Buffett does? No. Is it you should buy my token? No. I'm just saying that historically, having conviction on a single play, and hopefully you have the right conviction on the right play, and your CEO doesn't die or get hacked by the North Koreans. But if he does, that's the risk that you take. That's the risk that you take. Oh, okay. So now we're doing. Okay. So what is this?
It's very, very limited. We can basically do we can take a look at the launch itself, like how did the launch go? Because that's basically, it's a crypto launch chart, right? It's a token launch chart, like nothing really, we didn't find any significant levels yet that we could track really. But we can see that the token definitely had a pretty good run initially. So we saw 178% price increase from token launch basically to its all-time high. And then normally what happens after is profit taking, especially if you have an airdrop. And the profit taking is pretty, I would say, healthy. So what I'm seeing here is like a healthy retrace from the highs, and we can also sustain these new lows here. So I think they might try to form a bottom around the 1.445 level. I think Kaito, you have to keep in mind those tokens, those teams, if they're more sophisticated and they're listed on a few exchanges already, They are actively market making the token as well. They might have some strategies deployed with token buybacks and so on to maintain price levels that they don't want to fall through. So I think if the token holds above these levels, 1.4, there could be a good pump incoming. I don't know the unlock schedule, so I don't know exactly how many more tokens we will see in the next days and weeks flooding into circulation. That might pose selling pressure together with the challenging market right now. So I think Kaito, just because of the timing, like the chart looks really good. The chart looks great. Like it was a very successful launch, found its bottom and is now trading sideways. Kind of, it is, looks like it's ready to show us another leg up. But the timing is definitely challenged, right? Because right now market is going down. Tokens overall are not, they saw better times, especially these tokens in the middle, as I call them. Liquidity is going into Bitcoin. Like right now, this cycle is just so weird because we have so much Bitcoin dominance. We just peaked at 64% the other day. That was on the 2nd of February, 3rd of February this year. So just like 20 days ago, we peaked at 64% Bitcoin dominance, which is very, like, it's a lot of money that's only in Bitcoin compared to all the other assets. It was kind of we haven't seen these since 4 years, these levels of Bitcoin dominance. And that usually signals that investors are a bit confused about the middle, about everything that's between meme coins and Bitcoin, because in the cycle right now, it feels like liquidity is only flowing into Bitcoin and memes, and everything in the middle is like even ETH and Solana is having a hard time. So Kaito, it's gonna be tough, like for all the other tokens right now at this current market phase.
Yeah, absolutely. And isn't it also strangely beautiful? Like, it's strangely beautiful that Bitcoin is now where investors go when they feel unsafe. I like that. I do like it. I don't like that we're in an unsafe market, but I do like that the default isn't let's go back into cash. The default is let's take all our money out of alts and put them into Bitcoin, which, quite frankly, is more gunpowder for later. And they're not taking it fully out. They're staying in the
Bitcoin
game.
is,
so
it's expensive. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right with that. Like if Bitcoin would be at 30K right now as well, that might be troublesome, right? Because then it means there's no liquidity in crypto, nothing, right? But Bitcoin is seeing inflows. Like we had a good year, a good 12 months behind us right now in terms of Bitcoin. It's in compared to the other assets right now, it looks overvalued. But there's this funny thing that happens to investors all the time. We tend to pull our money out of good performing assets and pour it into bad performing assets because we think, oh, this is already running so good, it's running hot. I have to redistribute in the cheap tokens. And usually we do this far too early. And then the best performer that actually outperforms the whole market since 12 months or longer, you just take your money out of there and you kind of, you start betting on the slow horses. And that's something that investors tend to do sometimes. And I think in this cycle as well. But yeah, anyway, we still like tokens. Let's see what the market has prepared in the next weeks. What is happening in the Solana-verse? What other fun products can we talk about?
Yeah, no, this is definitely my favorite part of the show. Like, we love to start the show with technical analysis as well as like new token launches. Any like macro stuff that's going on in the ecosystem. We're already like 45 minutes in and we haven't even gotten to the product launches, and it's just because there's so much crap that's been going on. Bybit, hack. But let's just like roll through a lot of these product announcements, and some of these are really quite good. Our first actually comes from our friends over at Chomp.Games. Aren't you guys working with them?
Of course we are. Chomp is an awesome project. They have been around since a long time as well. They are true Solana builders. They're very well connected in the ecosystem as well. The founding lady, Casey, does a very good job on navigating these waters as well. I would say they've been holding up very well as a company. It wasn't always easy. We were in close contact we talked about fundraising when we were in these phases together, brainstorming, how can we go through it? We talk about product a lot. But now we're in the stage where Solana is, thriving forward in terms of product, and Chomp is also at a pretty good moment already. They have the product out. People are chomping actively. So they're actually using their product. And we have some fun campaigns prepared with Chomp as well, but it's not officially announced yet. So I'll keep it there, and let's talk about their product.
Yeah, and like let's not, and like I want to be really clear. Like we're not. I didn't say like, hey, you're working with Chomp, so that's why we're covering them. Like actually, Chomp is working with everybody. Because KZ, well,
Very
most
well
people don't
connected.
know, but if you've been around, you would know this. Like she was one of the kind of top executive team over at Orca for years, for a very, very long time, leading their BD. She's extremely connected in the ecosystem, decided to go and strike it out on her own. And now she's working at Chomp, which has some of the best branding in the space as well. I know some people are like, okay, this isn't a marketing show. Why are they talking about branding? But the memeability of your project matters. Like if you have a project like, for example, international stable currency, I mean, just a horrible name, just not memeable, not shareable. ISC, like what does that even mean, right? for reference, that's my old project. And Richard and Anish, I love you, but we had a terrible name. Chomp is very memeable. It's what it allows you to do is it's a subjective poly market. So like with poly market, you have a bet like, is Trump going to mention crypto in his inauguration speech? Simon, how did that go?
That didn't go very well. We were there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we were there. We live streamed the whole thing, and like we saw in real time the poly market odds go from like 80% chance he mentions crypto in some capacity to fucking 0 by the end of the speech because he did not mention it. Right. So that's an objective poly market. Subjective poly market essentially takes the opinions of the people who matter the most. So, for example, if they were to ask a question about Solana architecture, they might get 10 wrong answers from just random people who hold Twitter accounts, but they might get one right answer from Toli. So obviously you would weigh Toli's opinion over like everyone else's opinion, but still you want to crowdsource subjective opinions about a specific topic. So yeah, it's a way for you to get subjective answers to subjective questions from experts who matter the most, but still allowing the general crowd to give their opinion. So they're making an upgrade this week that will increase their confidence score in their answers from like 60% or 70%, which is where it's at today, to over 90% confidence that this is the correct subjective answer. Now, again, what is a correct subjective answer? I don't really know. Like you need to see it question by question is what I mean. I know what it is, but it's like, how does that really play out? But I love the idea of being able to ask subjective questions to your community like, hey, did you like this week's Solid Talk? Is that the name of your weekly stream that you do, Simon?
That's correct.
Yeah, Solid Talk, right? So it's like, this is a great question to ask Chomp. You would ask questions to the Chomp platform. I'm Simon. I'm a founder of Solana ID, and I'm going to ask my community like, hey, did you like this week's Let's Solid Talk, right? The Solid Talk, did you like it? That's a subjective question. There's no really good answer there, but you can get answers from everybody. But the answers that you probably want are for people who do their own streams, right? You would weigh the opinions of people who have experience running their own streams over normal people who don't run their own streams, probably, right? And so that's what I mean by how Trump works. Like you can ask a subjective question, get a great answer, and the answer that you get will be more skewed towards people who actually know what the hell they're talking about.
Cool. Yeah. And I think this is super interesting because it's different. And I like projects that are different, that are in a very interesting niche, that are innovating, that they think around the corner. These kind of concepts are, they're new. I can't do this anywhere on the internet really at that extent. And they gamified this in a very fun way. So you can actually, spend, some time every day on Chomp, and chomp around. So basically giving opinions and clicking buttons and taking part in their surveys. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, super excited for the Chomp team. And obviously, I mean, it's not just KZ. There's another founder, but I don't know if he's doxed. I don't know what his undoxed name is, so I won't be. But hey, you know who you are. I'm talking to you. You're a great co-founder. So just keep chomping with KZ. And also, there's also Cersei from Monkey DAO executive team who joined cool. Chomp. She's been in the game longer than anybody. I mean, she's literally OG Monkey DAO. So really bullish that she's KZ is building out a pretty killer team around her, and I think there is a future for Bonk for Chomp.
I have a one comment I want to add here on the whole Chomp topic, because there's two projects that I put in the same bucket. And I think it would be fair to just also throw them in here for people to check them out and compare a little bit. Chomp, I would say, is the OG on the block. So when I think opinion markets, then I think Chomp. Like when I think poly market for opinions, or you call it, what did you call it? Subjective poly market.
Yeah, it's a subjective poly market because poly market is super objective, right? There's a very clear outcome.
Yeah. So like these kind of platforms, they it reminds me a lot of opinions.fun, which is a kind of newer project on the block. Also, some good people involved here from Super Team Germany that I'm aware of, and they're building, I think, a similar system. So you can also check out how they are approaching this topic. And then there's a new kid on the block as well that has not been covered so many times yet, which is called Trepa AI. You can check it out under trepa_io. And they are also doing these opinion questions and surveys where you can leave your subjective view on things in polls, basically, on their platform. And they also have some token plans. They have some stuff going on, again, connected with the founding team here. So I'm pretty sure that what they're cooking is something significant, because simply of the fact of the people who are behind this, and I can kind of vouch for those teams. So yeah, check out Chomp, check out opinions.fun, take a look at Trepa if you're interested in these kind of newer forms of opinion markets on Solana.
Yeah. And we got even more updates, more people shipping, some more people, coming to Solana. So this next team, they're called Figure Markets. So the reason why Figure Markets matters at all is they are a stablecoin issuer and they offer yields on these stablecoins. Trust me, I did my research. I looked high and low. I cannot find out what their treasury consists of. I'm fairly certain that it's consisted of treasury bills. And the reason why I am fairly certain about this is because Figure Markets stablecoin YLDS, which is, again, a interest-bearing stablecoin, has registered as a public security offering like 4% annualized yield, approved by the SEC. So, it has to be something safe. It can't be like, I don't know, Libra collateral. it has to be, T-bill collateral, or something, or some other cash equivalent. So
something that TradFi understands, basically. Yeah. Makes sense. Cool.
And I'm not cool, Simon. I'm very bitter about this because for 2 years I had a stable coin with over 10% yield and nobody wanted it. And now these assholes,
branding,
these fucking guys.
Full circle. They put the brand out, they make it sound sexy, they make it look shiny. But it's the same shit. Yeah, it's the same.
Now they're getting retweeted from the Solana main account. They got approval from the SEC. Am I bitter? Yeah. Is that my own failure? Yes. My failures are all my own. But yeah, no, I'm just a little bitter to see that how well this this launches. Like, people are excited for, oh my God, 4% yield comes from real world assets. And it's like, yeah, we've been doing that for 2 years, bro. The token still exists, by the way. We're not promoting it anymore. But it's out there earning 10% yield. So, not financial advice, but if you're looking for a stable coin that actually offers you legitimate yield versus 4% bullshit. But anyways, sorry. Everything I just said was just me being bitter. It's a great product. I'm just angry. But I'm happy that, because I met you when I was working at ISC. And now I know when people talk to me, it's like they're not talking to me because I work at Sanctum. They talk to me because we were friends before then and my product sucked. But these guys have a product that sucks even more and they get way more attention. But again, getting approval from the SEC is not a joke. That actually is pretty commendable. So congrats.
All right. I don't think we're going to get retweeted from those guys, but anyway, thanks. Good that we covered them.
So guys,
Simon, we want to have the unfiltered view of that's what we want here. No intentions.
Simon is the guy who's he's always thinking about what makes sense, right? And just it's very logical, right? So he's like, look, we don't have to speak well about projects, but let's keep it sensible. And I did not keep it sensible. I'm sorry. I got very irrationally emotional there. Yeah.
Carried away. That's why I like you.
Yes.
Next up,
carried away. Backpack.
What else have we on Solana? Backpack. also some
Yeah.
news that they're shipping. I've seen it on the timeline. What's happening?
Yeah, the public beta has been live for 3 weeks now. I mean, like they're doing everything the regulated way, in the best possible way, right? So they bought FTX Europe so that they could have access to all of their perpetuals customers, without they bought the license essentially. So they're doing that the proper way. They're registered in Dubai, and I think might even have an office in Tokyo. And in those three, and they do everything by the book so that they can scale properly. So over 2.39, and I'm assuming swap volume, over 13,000 unique users, more perps listed, and lots of USDC collateral. So obviously there's a lot of progress being made by Backpack. So just very happy that Armani, Tristan, the entire Backpack team continuing to ship. Almost a little quiet on the timeline, don't you think? That they're not the loudest on the timeline anymore.
They're not the loudest, but they are so strong and they're classy. I don't know how they do it. Even though they're called Mad Lads, the community behind Backpack, they kind of do it with style. If you scroll through the comment section of these announcements, there's so much support from their community. It was really like the whole thing, the whole Backpack journey, I think played out really, really well. They navigated these waters very gracefully. The FTX crash, literally killed Armani, like really took off his pants. I think he lost a lot of money during these times. There are ex-FTX guys like in the team. They used to be involved in FTX as well, in the company, just working there. And then they came up with the idea to launch the NFT collection. Mad Lads launched, was very successful. They're still so valuable. The floor price of a Mad Lad is hovering around $10,000 ish all the time, even in these markets. And there's like thousands of Mad Lads. So it is a very valuable NFT collection, very strong community. I've been in AMAs with them talking about my product, and they're super curious, interested, supportive. And everything makes just a lot of sense. And their strategy as well, going forward step by step, brick by brick, as they like to say, is very suitable for the product that they're building, which is a centralized exchange, basically. But with a twist, it feels different than other sexes.
It totally is. And oftentimes because I'm in the Jupiter universe, I think that I it's not that I throw shade, but I do forget about other projects, just because like I'm so in that bubble. But when I really think about it objectively, I think Backpack probably has almost as strong as the community of Jupiter, just in terms of like the loyalty, the people who hold Mad Lads. And let's be clear here, the Mad Lads NFTs have some of the best art on Solana, like especially for a popular collection. It's like, and they get crazy airdrops too. Like I remember last year when we were in Dubai, it was like they announced like wormhole airdrop for each Matrica verified Mad Lad. It was something like $15,000 or $18,000 per I forget. It was just a shit ton. I'm like, holy crap, per Mad Lad. It's like, how do you? So yeah, I mean, like they have. I don't know how they negotiate deals like that. But yeah, the Mad Lads holders are very, very loyal. Very, very loyal.
Yeah. So definitely shout out to the product as well. They're making good progress. I think we should try to have just an Armani on the pod sometime in future, because I think they're great. They're great conversation partners. I've listened to a few podcasts with Armani before, and yeah, he's obviously very well spoken and smart. That's what the people like him for, and his ideas are just they're interesting. It's very interesting to pick his brains. I think I'd love to do that one time.
Yeah. Well, here's since Armani is such a Japan fan and he's over in Japan. Amari-san, genki desu ka? Watashi wa Soul Brothers desu. Please come to the podcast.
Perfect. Next product launch, what else do we have on the Solana timeline?
So we finally have some competition, right? For the longest fucking time, Pump.fun has been the dominant token meme coin launch platform. They've been taking all those profits, putting them into Kraken, not even bothering to start their own validator. They have, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of SOL. And now finally a competitor enters the ring. Going to be very hard to beat the network effects as well as the monopoly that Pump.fun has in terms of mind share, but we have GoFundMe, right? And
Nice.
I think that it's no secret that I don't hate the Pump.fun co-founders. I don't know them. It's hard for me to hate somebody I don't know. But what I
Yeah.
will say is that their on-chain actions are garbage. Just fucking
Right.
straight trash. I mean, Simon, you have an opinions on Pump.fun, specifically what they do with the fees they earn in Sol, right?
It just makes no sense for the Solana ecosystem. They could be much more friendly. They're just running a business and they're not Solana people, right? They don't have any, which is okay. Like we can't really judge them for that, honestly. But there are people that are building not only a product, but also building for the Solana ecosystem to, because we're in the same boat here, trying to, grow together. They don't have that mindset. So I'm looking forward to have teams working in this space as well that do have this Solana ecosystem growth mindset that I'm looking for.
Yeah. So I think it's really important for us to say this just for like legal as well as just financial purposes. We do not know the founders of GoFundMe. A lot of the times when we directly endorse a product or we say like this is great, you should try it out, it's because we directly know who the founders are and like we spent enough time with them to be like, okay, if they're scamming, they've been scamming for like 5 years and they decided to pull the trigger now, which is like very unlikely, right? But with these guys, we truly do not know the GoFundMe team. Hey guys, if you're watching this podcast, we'd love to talk to you, get to know you a little better. But so this is not like if you're looking to launch a meme coin, I'm not actually. First of all, I don't think you should be launching meme coins. But if you insist on launching one, I don't endorse Pump.fun. I don't endorse GoFundMe. I know Simon doesn't endorse Pump.fun. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't endorse GoFundMe unless you know the founders. I actually have no idea.
I don't know.
You are.
I don't know that. No.
Yeah, right. But that being said, the model, I mean, look at that Twitter bio. That's very sexy. What do you think? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the tokenomics around their own, what is it called, GFM, seems to be pretty cool. So I think there's a lot of revenue share going on. There's a lot of fee sharing from the platform revenues basically they make through fees going on that's been shared with people that stake their GFM. So that is obviously very bullish for the token. So I think they just know how to make a token look interesting. I haven't done a deep dive on the GFM token yet. But yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense what I'm reading.
Yeah. And I mean, their engagement is insane. I think everyone's really tired of Pump.fun and they want a product that's less ADHD, less extractive, and actually gives a shit about the ecosystem and not just the ecosystem, but there's a mechanism by which participants in the GoFundMe platform can buy GFM and then stake that GFM. So if this isn't all just a giant scam, and if there's no smart contract risk here, this looks very, I mean, there's always smart contract risk, but this does look very attractive just in terms of not only ecosystem alignment, but also in terms of the tokenomics. They have real revenue, right? I mean, like token launch platforms fucking print money, right? And they're willing to share that with stakers of GFM. That's Jenry. Okay, Jenry is a good friend of ours. He's the chief mustache over at Mustache DAO. Apparently, he's using the product. That's not an endorsement, but hey, okay, Henry's using it. That is interesting. Did not expect that.
Yeah, I mean they're making waves.
Definitely,
they're definitely making waves. And another interesting, I think the whole story behind GoFundMemes is really that it is hashtag save the trenches. That's what I've seen that around a few times now in their posts. So just give, don't what do they say? I think they say something like extract less, give back more. So take less away from the ecosystem and try to build a system that redistributes fees and things back to the traders, back to the degens, instead of just dragging them all the time. So they also quote retweeted a post from 0x NGMI, and he said the calculated total extracted dollar amount from memes on Solana amounts to $3.6 to $6.6 billion. Yeah. So 1 billion from trading bots and apps extracted from Solana, $492 million from Pump.fun extracted from Solana, MEV, a lot of billions extracted from Solana, Trump insiders, 1 billion extracted. So a lot of money just going away. It's basically it. crazy that 1 billion is just Trump inside us. And so GoFundMe is riding that wave of being the more rational, more user-centric, I would say, degen-centric platform that gives more shits about the people.
Oh, yeah. Look, if you ride with us during the lowest of lows, we will ride with you during the highest of highs, right? I love to support builders like GoFundMe. I love to support builders like Nom. I love to support builders like Armani, like people who stuck it out through the worst of times to still be here and also provide value to the ecosystem. GFM, I hope you're legit because I really like what I'm seeing so far. Just on paper, I really love it. The fact that you are paying out rewards in Sol, not USDC. The fact that you're giving the majority of, it seems like the fees to your GFM stakers makes a lot of sense. I don't really know how you make money though. So like, I want to definitely check out some more stuff there, but just in general, pretty bullish, very, very bullish. Happy.
Yeah, looking good from the outside. We also have some more news coming out of a few other corners of the Solana ecosystem. What do you want to touch on first? I know there's some sanctum things we can talk about, and there's also some events and kind of programs that we would like to cover as well on Solana. Where should we double click on first?
Yeah, I think we stick to the heavy hitters for this podcast. And this next section is probably going to be a pretty heavy one. So there was an official statement in a follow-up to all of the drama last week. I'm still very much aligned with Team Jupiter, Team Meteora. I don't think Ben did anything wrong. I think that he got a really raw deal. I do not believe, and I'm willing to quit the podcast because that's how much I believe it, because I'm not quitting this podcast. And there was no impropriety over at Jupiter. And there was no impropriety over in Meteora. No team members got token allocations. Like, show me the on-chain data, and then I will fully, capitulate and take my medicine.
Provide some context, for people who might have missed the train.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Just two sentences about what happened.
Oh, yeah. So essentially, the president of Argentina was tricked by a Singaporean named Julian Pei. Julian Pei is one of the teams that works with political actors to launch their tokens. So Julian Pei had another market maker he was working with. What's the name? What ventures is it called again?
Kelsier Ventures. Yeah.
And here's the dirty open secret, guys. And there's a lot of builders right now who are shitting their pants, and I won't name who they are. And they did nothing wrong, by the way. They've worked with Kelsier Ventures before. There's actually a lot and the reason why Ben and a lot of these top builders have worked with Kelsier Ventures is, he's a scammer, but they're also competent, right? And so here's the big question for me is, how much did these builders know about Kelsier Ventures, like more scammy elements, like, for example, sniping tokens and then dumping them on retail? I don't really know if they knew. I think that there's room for doubt there. But what is very clear is that it is a top firm that a lot of Solana teams were working with. And the conspiracy theorists will see, screenshots of chat messages and they'll go like, "Well, you knew the whole thing." And that's so fucking dumb. That's such a dumb point of view. How many of you have a chat with somebody and then based on that chat know everything that person does? Like, that doesn't match up with your own experience of reality. Why would it match up to Ben's experience of reality or any of these top Solana teams' version of reality? So what happened is Kelsier Ventures, Julian Pei, and I cannot believe I'm saying this in the same sentence. The Argentinian president launched a meme coin called Libra. It rugged within 1 hour. There's a lot of finger pointing. Jupiter strict listed the token after I think it reached like a $1.5 billion in TVL. Strict listing does not mean that you endorse a token. It just means that this is the gamble that you want to take. So this is the right gamble you want to take. So yeah, just the last week has just been filled. The timeline has been filled with absolute cesspools of misinformation and or what I believe to be completely illogical points and irrelevant to what actually happened. And now Ben is out. That's the long and the short, is that we need a scapegoat. Meteor needs to move on, and that's how I view the situation. I don't think Meow threw him under the bus. I don't think anybody threw him under the bus. I'm led to believe that Ben made this decision on his own because he's trying to do, even now, what's best for Meteora. And what's best for Meteora is a clean break until Ben can clear his name. And that's just such a fucking shitty deal. That's such a shitty deal. I feel so bad for him. Sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine
maybe.
that.
Yeah, I mean, he built this shit from, like, he's been in Jupiter and Meteora since day zero, right? So I think this man has been in the trenches since a while, in the builders' trenches, and maybe also he got just a little bit, like, maybe that was just a nail in the coffin for him, where he's like, "Fuck this shit, like, I need a break from this." Like, that's just my speculation. I don't know Ben, right? But in his shoes, I could imagine that he's like, okay, I want to put my company first. And if we need a scapegoat, then I'm happy to put my name out there. You guys do you. And B, I'm done. I just need a break. Like, so maybe there was just, maybe a few things just came together, and that made him pull the trigger on that one. So yeah, let's see where his journey goes now, and if we see a comeback or not. But I think so far there's no news.
I mean, you guys might notice that on my own Twitter handle, I have the letters BBB. There's a lot of people in the Meteora community, as well as just builders in the space, who are also putting BBB next to their name. It just means bring back Ben. And I think the majority of us live in reality, and we know that's not going to happen anytime soon. What it symbolizes, though, is not so much like bring back Ben now. I mean, like, let's let Ben breathe for a little bit. I think Simon was exactly correct. He probably wants a little bit of a break. But at the same time, we just want to signal, like, there are people who know Ben personally, that have worked with Ben, know him to be of the highest integrity. And, the optics look horrible, but we know the truth of Ben as a character. I had someone in the chat being like, did you actually believe that he was devastated on that recording? And it's like, yes, you moron. Like, if you know Ben, like, he's not an actor. He doesn't know how to regulate his emotions like that. Like, you're talking out of your fucking ass right now. Step back. So yeah, I think that it's important for Soul Brothers, like, not only for us to, and you might not agree with everything I'm saying, because, like, you don't know Ben the way that some of us might. And I'm not saying that I'm Ben's best friend. I'm not. Like, I am a builder in the ecosystem. I don't have lunch with him. Like, he does not answer my texts. Like, I'm not saying I'm his friend. I'm just saying that I have spoken with him. I know him personally. I know him through reputation. I know people who have spoken about him. And it's always just been rainbow flying colors. I mean, the dude is not just a nice guy, but a competent guy who wants what's best for the ecosystem and his project. So yeah, that's, I feel like not only do we need to be spreading news about stuff that's launching, but also defending people when they're being attacked by witch hunts. But that's just my personal opinion here. I don't want to put that all on Simon.
Yeah. I mean, also people should, follow the story themselves as well. If you go to Hello Chow, is the Twitter handle, benchow.sol, you will find his statement. That's basically the last post he made on the 17th of February. Since then, he went off the grid. And he breaks down what, just his latest view on what happened with Libra, with the coin. And he also explains, like, how these token launches usually go. Because when, like, he talks about how celebrities and politicians can't just launch a token like this because they don't know shit, right? They don't even know what a liquidity pool is. So they need to hire someone, a deployer, a market maker, someone that knows to navigate Meteora and work with the Meteora SDK or CLI. And these people do that either themselves or they are in direct contact with Meteora. So that's how those group chats go. And there's usually there is a group chat most likely with people like Kelsey Ventures, because they are market makers in the space that launch token all the time, and they are a service provider. And Ben referred people to Kelsey Ventures before, like, because he probably just didn't know better. Like, they do their job, they're market makers. You want to launch the token, they know how to deploy it on Meteora. They know how to manage liquidity. Here's Kelsey Ventures. Here, my celebrity friend, talk to them. I'm just Meteora. I'm just a platform. I won't be the guy who's doing it for you, but Kelsey knows how to do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, if you want the full story, just go through the post themselves, and you can see what exactly went down with Libra as well. But bottom line, we had no involvement in the project at all beyond providing IT support, including commenting on the liquidity curve and helping verify the token's authenticity after the token was publicly launched. Neither I nor Meteora team compromised the Libra launch by leaking information, blah, 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 blah. They didn't purchase any tokens, receive any allocations, and so on. And that's 100% believable. There's no reason for them to say something that's not wrong and not right here in these things. So yeah, that's the story.
I have my own personal list of people who've been talking shit on the timeline. And no, I'm not going to block them or mute them. But when their time in the sun comes and the pitchforks come for them, I will not be defending them. I just won't, because like it's very much, I just feel like you deserve it. You were throwing a bunch of stones in glass houses when it was someone else's turn. When it's your turn, like I'm not going to be there for you. And like in fact, I might say a couple of things, Well, I'll try not to. I probably should. But
you don't want to be on Eno's blacklist, guys. You do not want to be on Eno's blacklist.
People think I'm like super nice and positive, but like I hate some people. Like
we all do. That's fine. Yeah.
I love Simon though.
Simon
is legit one of my. Like before we go into the next thing, look, I just want to take a break because it's just getting exhausting. There's just so much stuff to talk about still. But like we had a really nice lunch over in Hong Kong with Jem, who's an ex-Circle. Like it was a very pleasant lunch. I think a lot of new foods for me too. Actually, my wife went ham on the menu, and I didn't know half of what I was eating, but it was pleasant. Like we had some tea.
Anything. I didn't know anything when I'm eating. I was just like putting things in my mouth. I'm like, okay, what is it? Just like Chinese food for me is like one of the most exotic things I can eat, honestly. Like because like I go to Thailand, I get chicken and rice. I go to Vietnam, I get chicken and rice. I go to Bali, I get chicken and rice. I go to fucking Eastern Europe here, I get chicken and beef, right? But I'm usually getting the same shit. But then I go to China, I have no idea what these things are. Like there's this meat thingy with like bones. I don't know, it's a pork, it's a chicken. There's this ball with like dough around, and then there's something inside. I don't know what's inside. I'm just gonna put it in my mouth. So it's like very curious eating. That was the lunch with
Yeah. My wife paid specific attention to like, okay, we need to get like extra protein dishes for Simon because like I already like I know you, bro. It's like you go to these like especially in a place like HK, it's like you're not the most protein options. Very carby, lots of noodles, lots of rice. So I was like, I know Simon. He's on the go right now. He's just like conference, boom, 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 meeting people, boom, 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 meeting, boom, boom, boom. And it's like he has not been eating well. So I'm like, let's try to get him some extra protein. I don't know if we succeeded in that goal, but
all good. My priority in these lunches is really not to eat. It is to talk and meet my friends and have a good time. So it's really not, the food is just the cherry on top. I had some really beautiful lunches in Hong Kong overall. There was one of the favorites, obviously with Eno and the gang. But I went to a few other places, and it was definitely an experience. Hong Kong is an interesting city. I will remember and probably be back some point. Very interesting place.
Yes. Probably next year. Yes, we'll see you next year over in Hong Kong. Okay. Going back to this exhausting grind of shit that's going on Solana. You called it, Simon.
Yeah, I know. There's two more things. There's two more things, ladies and gentlemen, that we need to cover, I think. We should spend. It sounds even wrong. We shouldn't. We have to spend let's say, 5 minutes on Portnoy and Kanye West. Just because they're making waves, people are talking about it. And yeah, it's just one tagline is Dave Portnoy rocks greed from his personal wallet, greed token. And there was a story around this, and we all followed it a little bit, but I just read a comment from Boshi below it. Dave Portnoy. Okay, let me share my screen. That's actually pretty funny. Shout out to Boshi, I love you, man. So we have here Dave Portnoy posting, there are lots of people in the meme coin world who try to act like they are the moral authority when they all want to do is dump on you and make easy money. The entire ecosystem is greed and nothing else. Go dump on each other, peasants, but don't complain to me if you lose money. You are all greedy. At least admit it. I won't screw you, but the guy next to you may. This collectible token commemorates that. Don't risk more than you can afford. Don't cry if you do lose. This is your world, the world you created. Now dance for me. My goodness, I don't really like the guy. And then Washi just says, "You're human trash." that's, that's just it. So this man made so much money with his fucking stupid tokens. Dave Portnoy. Do you know more about him than I do, or should I just read the bio? Because I don't know.
No. I'm. It's really weird to see this evolution of Dave Portnoy because he was just some fucking sports stats nerd that was covering basketball and football, and now he's like rugging people. Which is like, whoa, what happened? He used to be funny, and like he was like his story is very fascinating. I mean, he started a sports newspaper in Boston of all fucking places because nobody reads in Boston. Shouldn't have said that. But they have Harvard in Boston. I definitely should. All the Harvard grads are gonna get like we read. But yeah, Boston's a very cold and miserable city. And he might not even been Boston, might have been Philadelphia, but who cares? It's all the East Coast. I'm from the West Coast, baby. So sorry, I can't stop insulting people from the East Coast. But he started this sports newspaper. He started this. Stay on track, He started a sports newspaper, and after he started this sports newspaper, he created this like video media empire where he was one of the first to explore. I'm going to publish media, but I'm going to do a lot of video for it. And he got a cast of characters, and each one of the members of the Barstool Sports team, they were all great on camera. Lots of chemistry. They hate each other's sports teams. Lots of fun to watch, right? Did that for a number of years. And somehow, this is where I lose the plot. Launches meme coins. Like, he's always been on Twitter. He's terminally on Twitter. So, of course, there's going to be crypto people in his chats. When you have an account that big, you're going to have people who are shilling their meme coins. At some point, he must have just noticed and be like, all right, what the fuck is this? And then he gets into it, and now he's launching Greed, which, funny enough, Vashi already did in 2023. Yeah. I don't know if you know that whole story, but he already did that in 2023. Yeah. Literally the same token, the same message, but one of them, runs Greed Academy, is trying to educate you. Vashi is an OG in the space who actually gives a shit about you. And Dave Portnoy does not give a shit about you, is pretending like while complaining about people virtue signaling, he is also virtue signaling. What
does that mean?
He's like people are trying to act like they're better than you and pretend like they have morals and they're the arbiter of truth. He's doing the same fucking thing. He's doing the same thing. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, it doesn't make it better that you talk about other people doing it. So it doesn't makes zero sense. So, and I think the whole story, like as it went down, he started to post the CA, and then he was surprised how fast he made money. That's the way I perceived the whole story. He was like, "Oh fuck, what is happening here? Why do I have $50K of dollars now in my wallet? What happened? Why is this so easy?" And he launched the next shit. And then he did it for a few times, and people got like really upset with it. And then he got upset that people got upset, and then he started to insult everyone. So it's just like big shit show that went down there. But yeah, anything else in terms of Portnoy we need to cover, or can we leave this guy alone?
Look, like this guy, he comments, just a community member. He goes, "At this point, I don't think Stool Presidente is trying to make money. He's trying to make a mockery of meme coins and crypto. He's discovered an infinite money glitch." And he says, "This is the closest threat to correct I've seen. Only part a bit off is everyone knows I've been 100% legal and by the book. In a nutshell, I've done exactly what I say I do with full transparency with every single move. No secret wallets, no making money on the side, no lying." Okay, we'll see. We'll fucking see. But you would be the first person, one of the first people in crypto history to, not have something on the side and to do everything. I especially you, Dave Portnoy, like this dude gambles on GME. He gambles on sports betting all the time. Like, you're trying to tell me that there's not the thought in his head, like, but I could rug though. Of course he's thinking it. He's thinking it every day. Every single hateful comment you put, he's just this much closer to just pressing that button. I promise you.
Right. Yeah. Just don't interact with this man. That would be my advice. And don't interact with this man neither, with the next one on our list.
Okay. So you called this. You called it. You called it. I said he wasn't going to do it. You called it.
Yeah. I mean, it hurts my soul. Kanye West used to be a very good musician, like 2 decades ago.
He's still good. He's still good.
I mean, I don't know. Like his new music is definitely worse than the music he did before. But I know when he did, you know, like when was the last time he did like a truly world-changing song? Like,
I mean,
I need to dig
I
a bit.
think. Yeah, but I mean, he just released the album Bully, and I haven't listened to it yet, so I'm reserving judgment. I'm still a Kanye West fan, believe it or not. Like I like his music, but it's become very increasingly hard with the anti-Semitism and the pro-Nazi support and the Nazi T-shirt to like really. It's hard for me to separate man from music.
Well, let's just the old Kanye. You know, I love the old Kanye. Like back then, there was no, you know, drama, no Twitter fight. It was just like a normal celebrity, and you know, his kind of bipolar thing was not so severe. He does have mental issues, so I think that might explain a few things. And he did a lot of questionable things over the last couple of years, right? And there was some anti-Semitism involved always, and now it's just a new level because he keeps posting racist content on Twitter and anti-Semitic things and anti-whatever, like just like a lot of just racist stuff, right? Like he literally posts a T-shirt with a swastika on it, and it's like, you know, this is my new collection. It's called SS whatever. I'm like, what's happening? You have 30 million followers. Can you just do something good for the world? I don't know. So it's like very questionable, everything he did in the past weeks. And people were already saying, Portnoy is going to launch a token. Kanye West is going to launch a token. Portnoy did launch a token. Check. Kanye's still on the list, right? He is still on the list to date. He hasn't launched the token yet. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I haven't seen the past 30 minutes, but I haven't seen anything happening yet. But there was some debacle going on with his account. You know, have you followed the story a little bit, or is it the first time that you actually?
I'd love for you to tell the story.
Yeah, so there's this guy that has been launching meme coins for celebrities before, and he basically always rugged people, right? So the guy's Bark Meta, and he's known for doing this. And the question is, has he taken over Kanye's account? That's basically the main question right now that we're seeing. Let me just pull up my screen as well for the people that are looking into it, go through some of these other posts here as well. So basically, bottom line, first of all, is that I wouldn't touch this coin with a stick. So if something launches, if he launches, it's going to be a quick shit show. It's going to be less than 8 hours. Normally, right now, we see an 8-hour rug chart for all of these coins, where you see the big boom, where people just jump onto the train and they're like, okay, I'm going to jump on it and I'm going to exit before everyone rugs, right? That's basically what you do here. Like, let's be real. No one believes in these tokens to stay in there for like a week or something, right? Or put money in there and then just, you know, go on vacation. No one does that. People just buy the token, watch the chart, maybe get out after 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 2 hours. They just milk it out and fuck off. So it's really a zero-sum game, because not 0-0, but like few people make money. Now with this one here, I think it could be different, because people right now are already very bearish on the token, and the token's not even there yet. Why? Because Bark Meta has done it before. He has rugged a lot of people before, like with different plays. And now people say, hey, I think this man might have taken over the account of Kanye West. He bought the account allegedly for $20 million, with his manager, John Monopoly, taking a 50% fee. And that resulted in 17 million revenue for Kanye West, basically, for selling his account. And he actually also posted, like, that there was a post on Kanye's account that said, it's the quickest $17 million that I ever made. He just posted that. That's it. Like, nothing else. Like, just, quickest $17 million I've ever made. And then people started to think about the whole 20 mil minus 15%, blah, blah, blah. So those were the news that came out, that Bark Meta might have taken over. And now Bark Meta is also playing the whole game. Like, he's jumping on the train and he's posting things like this. Basically, 2 phones. We're looking at 2 phones, a picture of 2 phones. One phone is logged into Bark Meta Twitter account, and one phone is logged into the Kanye West account. The photos they look real. They don't look tampered with. They could be tampered with. I don't know. It's like hard to say. But yeah, like this is basically what things like he posts, just cabal meeting, and then put your notifications on. So he's basically telling everyone, like he's building up the hype, right, for the token. That's basically what he's doing. Imagine the whole space telling us we're scammers when it would have been so easy to rinse like 20 million doing a fake Carney coin today. Pretty sure everyone talking shit would have done if they. So they're trying to, you know, play it safe and be like, yeah, we actually, you know, we're really doing it. But then on the other side, last thing, you know, and then you can give me some of your opinions on this. But if we look at Kanye West's account, let's just pull that up as well. Where do we have a post about him? By the way, this is the guy. This is Bark Meta. So his name is Christian Barker. Bark Meta started a fashion design in 2021. And they had a very successful NFT collection. They raised 22,000 ETH. This is basically how they made money initially, I would say. And then they have pushed countless projects, hyping them up and misleading his audience. Usually that's the same play. So his last scam, Pox, was a failed Solana project. He hyped it up, but issues appeared soon after the launch. And now, after the rumors of Kanye West token on the way, one of his team members got followed by the artist. Blah blah blah. Right, this whole thing happened as well. Yeah, Kanye West changed his style of posting a little bit. So you see,
a lot.
Like first of all, I don't know if it's only for me or it's for you as well. But first of all, I don't see his posts anymore. So he keeps, I don't know. It looks like he keeps deleting his posts.
He does this for Instagram and Twitter. It's his new thing. He like posts stuff and then he has like a TikTok, like a Snapchat experience where he just like it's only there for a little bit and then he takes it off.
But sometimes I see it and sometimes it's gone again. It's weird.
Yeah.
That is also interesting. So
can I beg a little bit?
Yeah.
I really want to beg. So hey, Bark Dog, Bark Meta, Mr. Christian. Look, you don't need to rug. You can earn, especially if you're using Meteora to launch this token, you can just add protocol-owned liquidity. You own the tokens. You have the majority of you have the majority of the supply here. I'm begging you. All you got to do is hype up the token to get as much volume as you can. You provide liquidity, at a very wide range. You allow the market to do price discovery. The market will decide what it decides, and you can earn millions of dollars in clean fees. All right. Fees earned from trading are very clean, and you wouldn't be rugging anybody and nobody would hate you. And then you can attract more business. So I'm begging you, Mr. Bark Meta, Mr. Christian, Mr. Barker, sir. I'm sure you're very stylish. You're from the fashion world. Make the right decisions. Put Yay tokens into Meteora for liquidity. Earn clean fees. You'll earn more money. You'll be more trustworthy, and everyone will thank you. So that's just my one. I'm just begging you. Please don't rug people. Just earn clean money from fees. It's the smarter way to earn money, and it's not a scam. And you can just report it to the IRS and pay your fucking taxes. I hope you pay your taxes. Just do the right thing here. Sorry, I just had to beg just one time.
Let's see how it goes. I would remain cautious with the token. That's all I want to say.
He's
so
gonna
if people
rug.
consider, if people consider taking part, it's just usually it's a shit show. Let's hope it's the last one that we have to endure of the last big one, because it is getting more toxic and toxic. People are just getting sick of it. They're like, okay, we've seen this before. It's kind of boring as well. We want good stuff again that is fun. And these token launches, they're all fucking boring. So yeah, I think we've seen a lot of them in the past. I don't really want to cover many more in the future. So I would really appreciate the space to wake the fuck up and stop, pushing these things. And I think we are getting there right now, because it gets, like I said, it gets more toxic. People are fed up with the rug pulls of these tokens, and you see it even. Which token was it? Like this other rapper that just launched the token yesterday.
Rich the Kid or something. Ago. Who cares? Yeah, who cares?
Exactly. No one cares. But like some other rapper launched a token, and the token didn't even reach 400K or something in market cap. Like it was like tiny, and it was a rapper like with like a lot of followers and shit. Like he done that like 2 months ago, maybe he would have reached a higher level. But right now, this shows me just people are like, this again. Like
Yeah.
it's not even interesting anymore. So it's just cringe to do this right now, honestly. Like, so if you're a rapper, don't launch a meme coin.
Yeah, don't do it. But we do have a couple of events going on around the world for Solana. We're going to close out this segment how we always segment. Let's try that again for the video editor.
We are closing.
Okay, for people on the stream, you're going to see this, but for people who are listening to the podcast, this shit is all getting cut out.
You don't need to tell it to people on the podcast because they don't. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, who cares?
Just,
Guys, we're tired. Okay, it's been a long day. Simon's been flying. I've been cooking. We're trying our best here. Okay. So, like we'd like to close out every Soul Brothers, we're going to be talking about some events that are going around the world. So, if you're nearby, you should definitely check them out. Number one, talk of the town, lady of the ball, Mountain Dow, right? Everyone and their mother and their grandmother and their sister and their brother is at Mountain Dow. How are we the only two people not in Mountain Dow? Yeah, we're not in Mountain Dow. How is that possible?
Yeah, it's because we're like I haven't been to the US yet. For Solana. I haven't been to the US yet for Solana. So for Solana. So I need to. It's just so. It feels so far away. I fly to Hong Kong. That feels okay, but I don't want to fly to New York. It's the same way for me, but it feels further away for some reasons. So yeah, Mountain Dow. I haven't been there, but I've seen the pictures. Lots of people are cooking. It's in Salt Lake City. Is that correct?
Yep, Utah, Mormon country.
Gotcha, Mormon country. All right, that sounds fun.
It's true, and it's objectively true.
Okay. I don't know if that's important for the Solana community, but I think people are just locking into their office. I've read a post where Toli, the founder of Solana, walked through the aisle, basically just walked through the office and just asked people, "Hey, can I help you with something?" And it's so cool. Like I feel like the atmosphere there must be pretty cool. I have a few friends that are there that are cooking. They all look very productive. So shout out to Mountain Dow. It happens once a year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So the next one will be again in 1 year from now. But Mountain Dow is not the only thing happening. There's new stuff coming out as well. Have you heard about what Forma is cooking? What is Forma and what are they up to? Do you know?
Yeah. So Simon and I are very fortunate to be friends with Farhaj, but that's a really easy task because Farhaj is friends with everybody. If you're wondering who Farhaj is, it's this very hilarious and talented gentleman who's leading Forma. I know that he has a partner, and I please forgive me, I forget his partner's name. But basically, Forma is launching Solana economic zones all around the world. The first one they did was in partnership with the Buenos Aires government over in Argentina. So they had a Solana economic zone there for, I think, about a month, if I'm not mistaken. They're running the same playbook over in Dubai. And this is the announcement for SEZ over in Sri Lanka. They are the best in the Solana game when it comes to talking with governments. I don't meet a lot of teams that are actually good at this. Forma is good at it, where they're able to systematically make connections with local governments and allow for these kind of free development zones where developers like you and I can go over there and perhaps even experiment with payments without having to worry about getting arrested by the authorities. So that's the whole point of the Solana economic zones, is to promote Solana specifically in a local context, and then allowing us the legal framework and the systems to safely develop and try our products there without having to worry too much about legal risk.
Cool. And let's check this out. That's actually perfect timing right now. This is how it looks like when you get accepted to Forma. So it says, "Congrats, hey Simon Molitor, great news." Well, I don't know.
Bro,
I'm just fucking around.
I just made the decision to go, like literally like today. I had no idea you were going. This is great.
Me neither. But it looks like I do.
Are we recording another podcast over in Sri Lanka? Is that what's happening? Like seriously, like guys, this isn't an act. Like I actually did not know that Simon was going to Sri Lanka.
No, I just it was spontaneous. Literally like 3-4 days ago, I applied for it because I am personally in the process right now of evaluating certain jurisdictions in the world for me personally as a tax resident, maybe to move parts of our company there. So I'm very interested in these new places. So yeah, I'm just gonna Twitter handle. I'm just gonna fill it out right now. So if you get accepted, you can apply to Forma. You just need to go to their page on where is it? On Twitter. So they have a Twitter page. If you just look for Forma, you should be able to find it. Forma City, right? That's it, yeah. And so here you can go to forma.city/Sri Lanka and you can submit an application there. And that will bring you to an application form. And then you get this, if you get in, they send out invitations today, and they will send out another wave of invitations to Forma, I think in a next week probably or something. They have 64 spots left starting today. So people can still get in, and then you can get this beautiful invitation postcard, as it looks like, that they came up with, that you can create for yourself. So yeah, very cool, interesting project. That's Forma Sri Lanka is targeted for builders that are in the Solana ecosystem that want to connect with each other and want to do business with each other and maybe even explore Sri Lanka as a jurisdiction to make business in. So. Yes. Good stuff. Shout out. Thanks for getting me in there. And yes, BM, you should apply. BM in the live stream right now says you should apply. He should apply. So
I have a story about BM that I'm not allowed to tell on this stream, and it's a good story. We met each other at a store. I cannot name the store, and it was just very weird. Like our respective partners met each other, and it was like, oh, hey, and it was a really good time. I hope you also had a good time, BM. I owe it. For the record, anybody who's watching this, I owe BM at least 3 favors. I'm on the record saying this. I've said it to him publicly. I am saying it, I'm making it very clear. I owe you 3 Magic Genie wishes, BM, and if it is in my power to grant these wishes, I will grant these wishes. He created a situation that made my wife very happy with that situation, and it was only possible through BM's effort. So I'm just and also his very his lovely partner. So just thank you very much, guys. I love you, BM. Man, Will speaking German again. Look, what the fuck does this mean, Simon?
Do I have to say it?
Yeah, say it. I mean, he's been typing German to me for weeks, for days now. What the fuck does this mean?
Boah, schon ein Süßer. How do I literally translate this? But it means, he's cute.
Nein, motherfucker. Nein.
That's basically what it means, but you have to pronounce it that way. He's cute. That's how he said it.
Nice. I think we should end every podcast with just saying thank you to the people who make this possible, honestly. And like obviously Jupiter Exchange is a big part of that. Like, thank you so much for the sponsorship. We'll treat it responsibility. We're still going to say what the fuck we want to say. And we're going to be fair and balanced. But at the same time, like, thank you very much for that. And also to the real people who actually make this happen. Obviously, Caveman, who was our video editor, like if you watch any of her short form or long form, he's cutting all of that stuff, and he burns the midnight oil to get that ready for you as fast as possible. And obviously, Leclap, Leclap has been major upgrade for the Soul Brothers, right, Simon?
Major upgrade, major upgrade. Now our Twitter's on fire. We know what the fuck we're doing. Looks much more professional. So, shout out.
This is the first time someone else has prepared show notes for us. We're like episode 17. I think we earned it, by the way. I think we earned having someone help us with show notes because we were doing it for the and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
I keep doing it to an extent, but it's a big lift off our shoulders to have someone just consolidating shit and adding, on the agenda and everything. So.
Oh yeah, and he knows what the fuck he's doing. So yes, very happy with the team that we've built here over at Soul Brothers. And this shit is going to be the Bankless of Solana. We're not going to rug for 50K. Just kidding. But I know we issued a correction. I'm not going to confuse people again. Bankless did not rug anybody.
No, they're cool. I still listen to them.
They did not rug anybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
I even have the subscription. I pay them $20 per month. So yeah.
But that's what.
Long story short.
That's what.
Yeah.
we need for this ecosystem, though, right? Like we have the technical podcasts like Lightspeed, and we have the vibey podcast like Jupe and Juice. That's much more focused on the Jupiter ecosystem, and like we love Jupe and Juice. But just in general, right? Like we need someone that covers Solana, like FUD, new launches. Like we need weekly updates. So much shit happens. 2 weeks would be too much, and 3 days you could do that, but we got jobs.
We got places to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, not yet. Maybe, maybe someday. Yeah, Breno, Streamflow, GM, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm not sure if this last part is going to be part of the podcast, but to have an outro as well here. Not sure how we're gonna cut this, but that was the gratuity section where we just say our thanks to some people here in the live stream. But let's also wrap it up now. I think it's a good time to conclude the podcast today. If you listen to this on the podcast, then thank you for tuning in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you're tuning in on YouTube, even better because you can see our beautiful faces and also the screen share. Keep in mind, we're live streaming every single episode, Mondays, usually around the same time on our YouTube channel, our personal Twitter channels as well. So you can also do this in a live format and leave some comments and interact with us before and after the live stream recording or the podcast recording. Anyways, this was podcast episode number 17 already of the Solk Brothers pod. Woo! Thank you for tuning in. We are progressing fast. Road to 20. We're going to make the 24. And yeah, thanks for being a part of this, and just stay in the trenches, stay with us here, stay positive, as Eno said in the intro. Zoom out sometimes and take the view from the eagle down on this ecosystem, and don't get lost in Twitter and Twitter FUD. Prices are dumping. It happens. We've seen it before. We've been at $8. Keep that in mind. So we will see better times as well. And I think we have much, much more to cover next week when it's time for the next Solk Brothers episode. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good day wherever you are, or a good night. And until the next time.
Adios.
Perfect. We can cut again. And live stream peeps as well. Thanks for joining us here in this live stream. I really need to eat something. I feel like I've been traveling since 20 hours. Literally, I'm like I came in the apartment. I put my setup here. So this is, just like that's all I did. And then I still have my luggage there and everything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do shit. So I really need to find some food here in this. I don't know, where I am. I have no idea where I am.
Okay. Go get some food.
I'm going to get some food.
One thing I'd like to say, for people on the stream, we're making custom microphones. So that's like going to be really fun. They're going to be full aluminum. But I also feel like we need one more gadget, Simon. We need a get back on topic button. So you could just press it when I start telling stupid story. I did it like 3 times today. And each time I'm like, this was a mistake. Hurry up and go back to topic. But I get caught up.
Maybe it isn't. I don't want the button. I want you to do that. I want it to be free flow. We can always cut things, but I think this is the beauty of the pod and also of your personality. If you have something to say to the people, just rant, just let it out. Worst case, we cut it out, but I think it's fine. You can, I mean, people can also tell it to us. Like if you guys don't want to hear Eno rant about stuff, let us know. I'm gonna implement the button and shut this man down. But if you want the full picture of Eno, like Cyberbrother does, and you say it makes it fun, no cutting please, then we leave it in. So it's up to you guys. Maybe we can make an opinion survey on Chomp to see what people want. In my opinion, it's fine, but up to you. If you want me to
go
cut you off,
get some food. Get some food. Get some food. All right.
Then thanks guys for tuning in, and thanks for everything as well.